Hello everyone and welcome to day number 5 of the Dusty Classic. We've got 2 more matches here for you this evening. Starting things off as the one you can see on screen. The Mega Powers, Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage go up against the J.O.B squad, Al Snow and Bob Holly. Now you would expect with the ratings that Hogan and Savage would be one of the favourites, so that probably means, based on these tournaments, that they're going to get defeated here by Al Snow and Bob Holly. That's just how this thing's working. Also on tonight's show then, our second match will be Too Cool. Scotty 2 Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay got up against a team that I've created called the Giants. Andre the Giant and the Big Show. So another couple of massive matches here. So far we've had quite a few of the favourites knocked out early on, which is interesting. I'm really starting to worry now who's going to win this tournament and become our first tag team champions. I really thought we'd see some really strong teams making their way through, but with the likes of Legion of Doom getting knocked out pretty early. That's a big one, that is. Who else got knocked out pretty early on? Demolition got knocked out. Not Demolition, sorry, Dream Team got knocked out. It's been a bit mad so far, hasn't it? Some eliminations as nice attack there to the outside by Savage on Al Snow, as now Hogan taking Holly and attacking him now, really wrenching away at the chest and abdominal stretch. Macho Man there with the backbreaker. And the Mega Powers are looking good here. There's the pin on Bob Holly by Hogan, only a 1 count. And it was a little bit optimistic to try and get the pin off of that, wasn't it really? Savage with a backbreaker once again. Big boot in the face as Al Snow creeps up behind Savage, drops him with a drop kick in the spine. Now Bob Holly taking down Hogan as well. As Holly now taking Hogan up, sitting him out in a powerbomb. I like Bob Holly. Me and PJ Tovey met Bob Holly actually. He did a show in the UK a few years ago. We got his autograph, or PJ Tovey got his autograph on one of his Royal Rumble DVDs, I think. If I remember correctly, it was a pretty good day. As Savage here looking... Oh, Hogan. That's poor teamwork there. That's just the sort of scenes that you notice from guys that are not normally teams, but it doesn't matter because, no, it does matter. I mean, we've got some teams in here that are like dedicated tag teams, like Demolition. Obviously, it didn't work out too well for them. Then there's a few teams that are like short-lived, like strong teams, like the Mega Powers here. Of course, this all ended in tears, didn't it? It's the way these things always work. When you put 2 big stars together like this, eventually they're going to break up, and it's a whole sort of best friends, better enemies sort of situation, isn't it? There's the... Oh my God, the Alabama Slam from Hardcore Holly. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, that would typify this entire competition. If Hardcore Holly just pinned the Macho Man Randy Savage, that would typify this entire competition right now. Hogan, though, fighting back, taking down Bob Holly. Al Snow's back in the ring now. Went for a dropkick. Hogan was able to duck underneath. And Hogan now with a big wind-up strike. Hogan slapping Bob Holly, and again Hogan going with the big strikes. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. So I got distracted there and just started singing Real American. I like that song though, it's a good song, isn't it? Right, it's 1-1 the ring at the moment now. Hogan and Bob Holly. Hogan there with a big scoop slam. Can he follow it up? No? I thought he might be considering the atomic leg drop there, but decides just to stare at the ground in Hardcore Holly instead, which is not the wisest idea, but Savage comes in to do some work, but Holly, being allowed to rest and relax, was able to fight back on Savage as Hogan just takes Bob Holly down, though. Al Snow comes in once again. Hogan, though, with the atomic leg drop. But Al Snow sits out Savage, and Snow's going to get... Who would have thought that Al Snow and Bob Holly would have lasted this long? Who would have thunk it, you know? Who the hell would have thunk it? As Savage now crawls into the pin on Snow, and it's not enough. It's only a 2. I mean, you feel like it is a matter of time before the Mega Powers walk away with the victory. There's another big boot there by Hogan into the atomic leg drop, and surely that'll be enough now to finish off Al Snow. Hogan goes in for the pin. Savage up on top. No, it's only a 2. What? Al Snow just kicked out of an atomic leg drop. And then he took an elbow to the knee. Al Snow used to be a wrestler like you, and then he took an elbow to the knee. There he is. The Mega Powers do prosper. They made it a bit harder than it should have been, to be honest. It was a lot harder than it should have been. But either way, they are victorious in this match. And I mean, look at this. There was a big opportunity here. The Alabama Slam while Hogan was down the outside. That was the Job Squad's chance. And the Job Squad have impressed me here today, I must admit. Of course, we are using them as jobbers in our SWE Dark episodes, but maybe after this, who knows? Maybe they can showcase a little bit more ability. There was a cheeky pin there by Savage after the shoulder block by Hogan, but it wasn't enough to keep him down. And there was the atomic leg drop, the second one of the match. Savage took out Bob Holly. There was the pin. This pin wasn't enough. But all of a sudden, coming out of nowhere, Savage caught Al Snow, who was bent over at the time. Savage caught him in the back of the head with a diving elbow, and that was enough. And as you can see, a lot of respect for these two guys. They're not a normal tag team, so that might be their disadvantage moving further forward, but they're two incredible singles competitors. And in this sort of match type, these two really could be two that could go on to potentially become our first SWE Tag Team Champions. And here we go then, match number 2 of the evening. Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hotty versus the Giants, Andre the Giant and the Big Show. So this should be an interesting one. 2 effective cruiserweights versus 2 super heavyweights. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of this. And as you can see, Scotty 2 Hotty already struggling, trying to close on the Big Show, but that was not very effective, to say the least, was it really? Big strike in the face there by Sexay on Andre. They tried to crossbody him, but Andre just slapped him away. Remember, these are Extreme Rules matches, which is probably why Big Show now heading to the outside, looking for a little bit of assistance. Finds himself a ladder. I mean, really, I don't really think that's what you need, Big Show. It's what your opponent needs is a ladder, but I don't think you do somehow. Nice Big Show dropping his body weight across the spine of Grandmaster Sexay and a big boot in the gut as well. Dropping his body weight across the arm of Grandmaster Sexay. And it's a good thing, I mean, this tournament really allows us to use a lot of new people. I mean, looking at the next 2 matches we've got for next episode as well, I think that's another 4 debuts. Maybe not 4, maybe 3, but there's a lot of debuts coming up. A huge amount of debuts coming up. Grandmaster Sexay now taking down Andre the Giant. A boot in the face as well. Scotty 2 Hotty dragging Andre across the ring and now going to take him over the top with a cutter. Andre the Giant just slapping Scotty 2 Hotty away, then absolutely flattens him. Grandmaster Sexay though gets on the back of Andre and drops him. Big Show now headbutt in the back of the head of Scotty 2 Hotty. And now Big Show heading outside to try and capture Grandmaster Sexay, who brings in a baseball bat. Now this could be the trick here for Too Cool. They might not be able to go toe-to-toe with the 2 big men, but the weapons might help, but then the Big Show gets himself a weapon as well. Big Show just rams Scotty 2 Hotty in the gut with a sledgehammer. Oh my god, Grandmaster Sexay just hit a curb stomp. I'd be pretty disappointed. Oh my god, is he really... Okay. Okay, Grandmaster Sexay just hit some sort of full Nelson slam. Oh, Big Show with a spear on Scotty 2 Hotty. And Big Show now. Oh, the WMD, that big strike right in the face of Scotty 2 Hotty. Knocks him clean out, but Grandmaster Sexay's there to break up the pin. I mean, it would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Could you imagine Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan versus Big Show and Andre the Giant in the next round? Very classic style match, but Too Cool. Don't want that to happen. They want to make their way through, but Scotty 2 how much damage is he taken from that big strike? He's heading to the outside now, looking for a bit of help, looking for a weapon by the looks of it. Looking for an equalizer of the size. Has himself a steel chair. Grandmaster Sexay taking down the Big Show. And Scotty 2 now throws the chair on the ground. As him and Grandmaster Sexay dropping down with the strikes. And Grandmaster Sexay now drops Big Show. Rolls him over into the pin. Andre's back up, but he's far too slow and too cool. Have knocked out the Giants. Wow. Well, there you go. On our next round, we will have Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage go on 2-on-2 against Too Cool. Who would have thought they'd ever see that match? Not me. Definitely not me. And I'll tell you one thing. I am really looking forward to the next round. The next show, sorry. Tomorrow's show. I've just noticed that there's a match, a main match of tomorrow's show is incredible. It's a really interesting match. You're not going to want to miss it. It is going to be the Hollywood Blondes versus the Varsity Blondes. It is Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian Pillman versus Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. That's tomorrow. Also tomorrow, the Butcher and the Blade go up against the Hybrid 2. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have, please do hit the like, subscribe, that other good stuff, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more of the Dusty Classic.